Alright, what's up, y'all? It's your girl J Renee with Prison Riot Radio. We got brother Ruck back. We gonna hop right to it. What's up, bro?
I'm there.
Alright. So, the last time we chat, you said that the last thing you said was, you had took a nap, you had been up, and the doors was blown off, and that's what woke you up.
Yeah. So I had two brothers that was two guys that's close to me that was standing outside of my cell. And I'm like, yo, listen, man, there's a lot going on. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and take this nap up in a all day. So I don't even know how long I was out, but I heard somebody scream my name, and it ended up being one of my co-defendants, Cut scream my name, yo, big homie, get up.
This is a call from SCI, Phoenix State Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Yeah, as soon as he say that shit, that's when when I hear the doors go, when I hear that shit blow, I hear the doors blow. And I come out, and at the time, at this time, everybody knows, it ain't no secret, I had the keys. I had the keys to every door, every main door. Not closets or any of that type of shit, but to the main doors, I had the keys to the door. So when they blew through the door, I go across to look out the window, and I can see army tanks and all that type of SWAT tanks, and they coming in, and I can hear them screaming. So I go and I throw the keys down at the other end, and as I'm coming back down, so the way that the hallway is, it's a door at the end of every hallway. And that outside, that door leads directly to the outside. These are the doors that they blowing off of. So as I'm running back down towards the opposite end of the hallway, that door blow off. Boom. And I gotta turn and go inside the cell with one of my young boys. And it ended up being like 5 or 6 of us locked down in this cell. And they come through with the guns and all that, and they slamming all the doors shut. And they got the smoke, the flash bombs with the smoke and all that type of shit, so you can't really see what's going on. And I'm telling all my young boys, like, yo, get down, stay down. Don't move for a second, so until we see what's going on. Because in my mind, anything moving, they gonna hit. So that's how that started.
Yeah, that was a good observation. So when you looked out the window and you seen all that shit, what crossed your mind?
I'm thinking about where everybody else is at. Because I had just right before I went and took that nap, I was sitting, me and Ben was sitting right outside of my tier talking. And so now I'm thinking about where everybody else is at and what the fuck is going to happen next, how they going to carry it. So I hurried up. We got the way that the cells is, it's a window at the top. So once they walk past, they come through that door, they walk past our door, they making sure everybody is secured in these cells, or everybody is secured in a cell. And once they get past, I get up, I look, I see they walking down that way. And I hurry up and I flip the fan. I put a fan in the window, and I flip the fan around and turn the fan so it's, if they try to spray mace or drop some type of tear gas inside the cell, at least the fan would suck this shit straight out of the cell and straight out into out the window. So I do that, and then Kev, he up underneath the bed. I'm telling Kev, get from underneath the bed, because if they come in here and they think motherfuckers trying to hide or whatever, ain't no telling what they might try to do to you. Next thing you know, you hear them. This is when they find the sergeant, the boy that died. And you can hear him. As soon as they find him, you can hear him scream. You can hear him scream that shit. He in here, he in here, he in here. And at that point, it's just like,
so,
man, this shit break the bed.
Let me ask you, did anybody receive any type of violence from the guards and stuff when they finally opened up the cells?
So, once they did that, and they secured that area where he was at, that's when you started hearing them come cell by cell by cell. It ain't put your hands up. It ain't get down on the ground. It ain't none of that shit. All you hear is screaming. You hear crack cell 1. I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. Shut the fuck up. Boom, 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 boom. Screaming, hollering, crying. And it's coming cell by cell by cell. So basically, you're just waiting.
Waiting for your time.
That's
crazy.
Yeah. And you're just bracing yourself for it. Then for us, like my man Fat Cat, he ended up being in the cell by himself when they came. So you heard him screaming, you heard him crying, you heard them beating him and dragging him and stomping on him. And it was an old head right next door to us named Boo. And I remember when they came to the door and they told Boo. So Boo, the first thing he said was, "Man, I didn't have nothing to do with nothing. I didn't do anything." And they was like, "Shut the fuck up, nigga. You should have came out with the rest of them. You should have came out when they came out. Shut the fuck up." And they opened the door and they beat him. And he was right next door to us, so we knew he was next. And then they cracked the cell. As soon as they cracked the cell, I was laying in the middle of the floor. And as soon as they came in to crack the cell, they stomped on my head, walked on me, stomped on me, started beating Kev, started beating Nye. They broke Mark hand, Mark Purnell. They smacked him with they started smacking him with he trying to cover up his head. They started smacking him with the black sticks and all that shit. Broke his hand. And they dragged us out to the hallway. And then when they dragged you out to the hallway, it was just a whole line of police. So as they dragged you down there, they beat the shit out of you as they dragged you down there. Me, I'm not going to let them knock me down because the way that the floor was, the sprinklers had flooded the floor. So it was so much water that, I'm just thinking, if you fall in this water, they're going to drown you. So just make it outside. But even that wasn't good, because even when you made it outside, as soon as you walk out, as soon as they bring you outside, all you hear is like a whole bunch of people in agony, a whole bunch of people still being beat, screaming. At that time, it's middle of February, it's the beginning of February, so it's freezing cold outside. And then that's how that went. They still beating us outside, got us laid down on the concrete, some people stripped naked. And it was just a situation.
Was there at any moment where you was like, damn, they might kill me, I might die?
Yeah, so it was, as we laying out there, I thought that when they first came through the door, because one thing that I knew, so it was a situation that happened, if I could rewind a little bit, it was a situation that happened where Miss May, the counselor, was inside a certain cell.
Mm-hmm.
And they came outside and knocked on the window of the cell that she was in. "Miss May, is you in there?" So at that point, I knew that people that was being released that was telling them certain stuff about what was going on inside. What that let me know is, or let most of us know is, if people are identifying certain individuals as being motherfuckers that's involved, they already know.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, when they come in, they're going to be specifically looking for certain individuals. That's why it was already, we had already processed that no matter what cell you go to, don't go to your cell. Because if they got your name and they putting your name in shit, motherfuckers that's leaving is putting your name in shit, they going to come straight to your cell. They going to send a certain type of individual straight to your cell and try to say you resisted. So don't go to your cell, go to somebody else's cell. But as far as, so that right then and there, we all kind of prepared for the possibility of if we was going to die. We made sure that we called the specific people that we wanted to call before they breached the building, before they came in, to let them know, if that's the last person you was.
You have 1 minute left.
You was going to talk to them, and then so that was, I had that thought then at that time, and then when we was outside, somebody was getting beat so bad that he was like, "Just kill me, just kill me, just kill me," and you could hear him cock the gun like, "Lay the fuck down, shut the fuck up, or I'm gonna shoot you." So at that time, you knew you just had those feelings. So I think it was Bavri. It's my folks, and you could just hear him. You could distinctively hear him, and that's what he's saying. He's telling them, if y'all gonna kill me, if y'all gonna do something, y'all might as well shoot me. Y'all might as well shoot me now. And I'm not going. So he's pushing back against them for whatever they doing, but they keep like they got their foot on your head. They got certain COs are standing there with their foot on your neck, foot on your head, foot on your back, pressed into the ground, so you can't really see what's going on to the right or left of you. So I hear that. I don't know how long we was out there, but it was freezing. We was out there for a while. They grab us up and they drag us to the gym. So when they get us in the gym, that's when you really get to see, because it's pitch black outside early in the morning. When you get to the gym, that's when you really get to see all the bodies scattered and laid out in the gym. And at first they got us all laid down, and you peeking up and you looking and you see people's face, blood all over people's face. I consider I was lucky. Like I just had this whole side of my right side of my face was swole. They broke my pinky on my right finger, and even at the time my leg is still fucked up, but I think they fucked my leg up a little bit more because they was stomping on me and all that type of stuff. So that was the extent of my injuries at that point. But as I'm looking, you see, people teeth knocked out, blood all over their face. Some people, you don't even know if they're alive. They just laying there. There's blood all over the place. They laying there, face down in blood. And I think it took, once we all got in there, it took a little bit before motherfuckers got they bearings back. Like, yo, we still alive. We still got to push. So that's what motherfuckers is like, yo, man. We start snapping again. Like, yo, what the fuck is going on? He ain't got no medical treatment, this, that, and the third. We just start snapping again. They brought in some more people, fucked us up a little bit more.
This is a call from SCI, Phoenix State Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Like Fat Cat, he was right next to me. He basically crying. He like, my hands is numb. My hands is numb. He got his back to me, so he bigger. And they only got him in one pair of handcuffs. And his hands can't even fit behind his back with one pair of handcuffs. So they had to they down there broke his shit. So and he screaming like, my hands is numb, and I could see him. So I start snapping about that. It was just it was crazy. But they dragged us from there, from the gym, and they start putting us in individual cells. And when I ended up in the cell with Fat Cat, when I walked into the cell, I'm already fucked up, I'm bleeding. But when I walk into the cell, Fat Cat sitting on the floor. And when I walk up on him, he like, it's crazy because he didn't look at me when they opened up the door. And when I walk in, I look at him, he just looked up. And, it's my bro, so he ain't gonna mind me saying it, because this shit is real. But when he looked up and he seen who it was, he seen me, he started crying. But it was crazy because he cried that, he basically expressed to me that night, him and my sister is real close, he older than me. Mm-hmm. And I remember him expressing to me that night, he was like, bro, just stay here, stay there, don't do this, just stay here.
SCI, Phoenix State Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Like I was saying, everybody had the perception that they was saying certain stuff and that they was going to come in for certain individuals. And he kept saying, I remember him saying to me vividly, like, yo, how I'm supposed to tell your sister that you was in here with me and I let something happen to you? You know what I mean? If I come home, like, how I'm supposed to, and I'm like, Cat, we going to be all right. So I think that was playing on his mind, because when I walked in, I don't know if he expected to see me, if he thought they was going to do something to me. When I walked in, he looked up, he was crying, then he was like, yo, I'm like, man, we going to be all right, we cool, bro. And he was like, yo, I can't lift my arms. socket. So I had to rip his shirt off, helping, like, relocate his arm, put his arm back in socket. And it was just, from there, it was just a whole nother fight. It was a whole nother fight from there.
How long did it take for everybody to get treated medically? And did y'all have to, and were they seeming to do it on their own, or did it come from after y'all pushed for it?
Okay, technically, nobody got seen. Oh, so when they first brought us out, before they took us to the gym, they brought us through the infirmary. But when they brought us through the infirmary, all that was a bunch of racist-ass cops standing there with nurses that, even if some of them at one point in time was half-ass cool, they not really saying nothing to you or not really trying to attend to you because they conform into the structure, to the power structure that's going on. And so nobody is really getting treated at that point. It's just a facade. They just bringing us through, making it seem like people was getting treated. Nobody actually got treated. Period. I mean, it was like, I'm going to say, I know individuals, like for me, for my pinky, I never got treated for my pinky. I put grievances in, sick calls in. I never got treated. Fat Cat, his whole face, like that's what I said, some shit got deeper after that because I told everybody on the tier, Bill was upstairs. So I'm like, bro, this shit great, get ugly, like what's going on? Cat, it looked like they knocked a part of his skull out. He got a dent in his head, and I'm telling them, they got to come see Cat. So everybody on the tier covers up their windows. And we want to see medical. The only thing that they did was brought the nurse on a tier so she could look at him through the window. And she said it flat out. They not allowing us to bring anybody out. We can't do nothing for you. She ain't treating. All she gave him was some Motrin for his head. Was like, yo, if he pass out or something happened, don't let him go to sleep. This is what she telling me. Like, the fuck you mean don't let him go to sleep? So, yeah, since nobody got no medical treatment for months. For months.
And how? Like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Like, for me right now, that's a part of this fight that I got going on right now, that I got a civil case in because I was supposed to get reconstructive knee surgery. Like I said, they fucked me up and my leg was already messed up and they fucked me up even more, and I was supposed to get reconstructive knee surgery, and they denied all that. Shipped me out of state, denied all that, fucked me up, ain't give me no treatment, no nothing, shipped me out of state. To this day, my whole knee is completely shredded. To this day. I know people ain't getting no treatment for months. Some ain't getting no treatment at all. Ain't nobody getting no psychological treatment.
Yeah, I was about to say, I definitely, just from the things that you were describing, I already know that a majority, if not all, have PTSD. It ain't no question.
Yeah. Not to make no excuse, because I ain't no excuse. As far as I'm concerned, ain't no excuse for this, but there was this one cat named Burner who ended up testifying against us. He gave a statement, and his statement was, I don't know anything. People was wearing masks, I didn't see, I don't know. That was his original statement. After they fucked us up the original time, they started to come into the buildings afterwards because a lot of people wasn't saying anything. So they started to come into the buildings in the middle of the night, and this is reported, if you go back in the papers and go back through the archives, you will see this. They started coming into the jail in the middle of the night and fucking us up. And one night they came over there, and he told them, yo, look, man, I know why y'all keep coming over here doing this to us. If I could talk to such and such, I got something to say. And he changed his whole statement. And I brought that up to him while he was on the stand. Like, you didn't change your statement until they fucked you up a third time.
Right.
That's when you identified me. Right. But that's the type of stuff, that's the type of psychological torture that was going on.
Damn. I believe you, bro. I believe you 100%. So after everything went down, you know what I mean, how were y'all treated up until trial? Did you stay at Smyrna until you went to trial?
Well, nah, so we didn't get indicted until 9 months later.
Okay.
So it took them 9 months to indict us. of just them not knowing what happened or who did what or whatever they was trying to figure out. That was a hard process because, like, they took all our property. So I got stuff. I just had a cousin ask me about some pictures of stuff that I had that he had seen. I don't have pictures of just stuff that you'll never get back.
Right.
Remember, pictures of my mom, my dad, me and my daughter that we took when we was down there. Just stuff, letters that people wrote me that I held for all that time. I got shit that I just never get back that I held on to because during those times, during my bit, that was the things that I had that kept me focused. But they took all that. You had to start over from scratch. They wasn't allowing us to get showers for like 2-3 weeks. Couldn't go outside, couldn't clean your cell, couldn't get on the phone. We went through that whole fight for a couple months. I think that was like a 6-month time frame that we went through that. And then, within that, it's this whole thing with us where while we beefing over that and going through that, you got cats on the tier that's turning on each other because now they like, man, y'all got us going through this. What the fuck is you talking about? So that's another psychological play, right? Yeah. It's like what you was talking about earlier, how we turn on each other.
Yeah.
So they turned us against each other in that moment. So we had situations like that. It was rough, but it was probably about 9 months down the line. I remember they came and got my DNA. And then after they came and got my DNA, I kind of figured like, yes, this shit could come down the lane. And then they indicted me. And then once they indicted me, they came, and I just remember I was sitting there, and I'm like, damn, it's early in the morning, we supposed to come out. But ain't nobody coming out. I'm asking the CO why we ain't come out yet. I'm trying to get on the phone. He said the jail locked down. Then somebody screamed up to me. They said, yo, they great, come out with the indictments. Turn the radio on. So I turned the radio on. I'm sitting there with a piece of paper. And my last name started with an A, so I was the very first name that they listed as the people that was getting indicted. So as I'm writing it down, I hear somebody scream, Ruck, they coming, they coming, they coming. So when I turn around, they standing at my door in all black. They got their guns and all that type of shit. They telling me, like, strip. Get down on your knees, strip. Do this, do that, do that. I'm like, man, I'm not doing all that, man. I don't know at this point, I don't know what the fuck. Y'all just identified me as one of them. I'm not doing all that, man. So I just put my hands in the air. Y'all know I ain't got nothing. This is as best as it's going to get. So they came in. They like, the guy in front was like, yo, we're not going to do nothing. Just turn around, put your hands on your back. So they take me out. As they taking me out, as I get up front, it's like 1 million cops. And then I start to see some of the other people that was going to end up getting indicted. After we got indicted, they put us in vans and they took 9 of us to Georgetown and 9 of us to Gander Hill.
Trying to keep y'all separate.
You have 1 minute left.
Possible. So I know we got 1 minute. I want to ask you. So once they, you heard your name, they came and got you, and you was, riding to the different facility. I know when we first started, you say you wanted it all to be worth it. How was you feeling in that moment?
It was, I don't know. I was thinking about the unknown because I was just thinking about the unknown because I didn't know where I was going.
Right.
And it was another young boy in the van with me, and he was like, "Yo, what you think they gonna do with us? Where you think they taking us?" And, everybody asks, you being asked questions. I don't have no answer, and I'm just telling him, man, we gonna be all right. But in my mind, I don't know what these crackers gonna do to us.
Right.